My brother, Jimmy, was born deaf and autistic, and he lived in the home with my parents for many years, and when he no longer could do that because he needed schooling and other resources, he went into institutional living of varying sorts. When Jimmy was 52 years old, he's 58 years old now, he had a stroke. Suddenly, half of his body was paralyzed and he couldn't fingerspell, he couldn't do sign language and communicated the same way. So by this time then, he needed to be in a facility that had the highest level of care because he was bound to a wheelchair. That's really when my sister and I and my dad started really searching for not a facility, not an institutional state-run facility, but a home that could be Jimmy's forever home. And that search led us to Safe Harbor.
Safe Harbor is a adult residential facility. It's licensed by the state of California, where we serve adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And this is their home. We work in their home. I was fortunate to be able to go and get Jimmy from his home, and his home was temporary. When Jimmy came for a visit with his sisters, one of the other residents were super excited that he signed, so they were also interacting with him with sign language, and they signed, "This is my bathroom, and this is where I keep my toothbrush, and you can keep your toothbrush here too." And Jimmy started to cry, and his sister started to cry. And pretty soon we were all just in tears because Jimmy felt welcomed.
There are many families who are very stressed as their special needs child grows up, and they know that those children as adults will have special needs and those needs to improve their life. And I think Safe Harbor has a unique approach to working with each individual to help them reach their best potential and to have their own life.
The people that we support have varying levels of abilities. So if you're looking at getting dressed in the morning, somebody might need assistance with their shoes on, but they're going to pick which shoes they wear. Somebody else might be able to fully dress and clothe themselves and not need assistance at all. So we have varying levels of need, and it's not according to our expectations, but according to their true need. So the people we support will let you help them as much as you offer, but the trick is to find out what do they really need and what is the truth.
I think the most amazing thing to me is how much my brother has changed since he came to live here. When he came here, he was wheelchair bound. After 6 months, he was out of the wheelchair entirely, only using a walker. Now he uses a very tall walker because he's a tall guy, and it makes him stand up and have good posture, and he can really zip around with his walker. This story is just Jimmy's story. And while I think Jimmy's story is extraordinary and he's an extraordinary individual, there are many extraordinary people who need the resources and the services and the support and the love and the family feel of Safe Harbor. And many parents who are seeking some way to provide that for their child who's now an adult, or to look forward to that. And I think that if we can be supportive of facilities like Safe Harbor to expand their services. And I think there's a lot of need out there. I know there's a lot of need, and Safe Harbor helps meet those needs.